team of Sydney, Rudy, yourself, and I would assume a bunch of lawyers are literally crisscrossing this country. You're in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. Which state would you like to begin with?
Yeah, and also Wisconsin. So yeah, this is a pervasive, obviously, election integrity issue throughout the country, and that's why we are fighting in multiple states. And so for everybody who is wondering what's going on, why haven't we seen evidence yet, what's the time frame of all of this, let me clarify. So what happened, of course, on election night and beyond is that we are now getting reports, and we have been for the last 2 weeks, of all of these election irregularities, the votes of people who were not registered in the state, of dead people voting, of ballots being counted multiple times, of poll watchers and observers being excluded, and of course the irregularities and quote-unquote glitches from Dominion software, all of these things that have impacted each of these states plus others in different ways. And so now what we're doing is simply trying to fight to make sure that the states do not certify their election results until we can go through the court process and make sure that we sort this out, and what will be the judicial remedy to make sure that our free and fair elections and election integrity is preserved. So that's the big picture. And of course, this takes time. This takes the court process. We've been fighting even today in Pennsylvania against the state's motion to dismiss. The Secretary of State there is who we sued, and to get an injunction for her to not certify the results in Pennsylvania until we can put on our evidence, until we can have that hearing. And so that's really the main threshold and the main hurdle. And hopefully we will then get to that evidentiary hearing, which is currently scheduled for Thursday. And then we can actually show how the election has been impacted very, very broadly. I mean, here in Pennsylvania, we're talking about around 700,000 votes and ballots. And so we want to make sure that every legal vote is counted accurately, and every illegal ballot is not included in those results. And we believe that we should have our day in court to be able to present this evidence and to have a fair hearing and make sure that the law of the state and also the U.S. Constitution is correctly applied by the judicial branch. That's our U.S. government system.
Yeah, every American should want that, a free and fair election where every legal vote is counted. Jenna, for the folks at home, maybe they don't understand because, as you said, a lot of people are begging, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? You, as a constitutional lawyer, can you explain to them, you got to hold on to that until it's presented in court. You guys can't be out just showing your evidence all over the place, or that could actually screw up the proceedings in a courtroom, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, it wouldn't really do any good to say, okay, here's what we have, and let the court of public opinion decide. Nobody who is on these mainstream media outlets who's claiming that, they've seen evidence or they've seen lack of evidence. Well, I haven't seen any of them, step out of their anchor or contributor positions and go join the federal bench in Pennsylvania where we argued today and actually be the one who's sitting in the judge's position to determine what the facts are and then appropriately apply the law to the facts. And so the court of public opinion is not where we're litigating this. It's a court of judicial equity, and that's exactly where this needs to be handled, and we need to go through that process. And of course, the American people in our transparent judicial process will see that, but we have to take it one step at a time. I've been a part of civil litigation for a long time, and these cases can go on for years. We are being asked to do what could have been a 2 to 3 year process in 2 to 3 weeks. And so we're doing this very, very expeditiously because there are deadlines. Everyone wants to know who the next president will be sworn in on January 20th of 2021. That's what our Constitution requires. And we will get there because our Constitution does provide mechanisms for if an election is irredeemably compromised, there's corruption, or there's foreign influence. And so, we all want to get to the bottom of this as quickly as possible, but we need to make sure that we protect election integrity and we do not certify false results.
Yeah, and I wish that the mainstream media would stop putting out those false narratives that what you and the Trump legal team are doing goes against the rules or goes against a supposed President-elect Joe Biden. Nothing's been certified. Not all the votes have been counted. There is no president-elect. If the media just keeps hammering that home, that yes, he is. Real quick, we got about a minute left. Court cases in Georgia. I just saw before this interview more votes now. The second county coming forward with thousands more of a vote on a drive someone forgot to give to the state.
Yeah, this is really incredible. So we had 2,600 ballots that were cast in person that somehow were just forgotten to be included and be counted. And now we're getting another report of another around 2,800 in-person ballots in a separate county that somehow forgot to be included. And of course, Georgia is a very, very thin margin between President Trump and Joe Biden. That's why we have to make sure that these results are accurate. We need to make sure to challenge them. And, you know, I would say to the mainstream media, instead of focusing on all of the drama, and they're so concerned about, you know, which lawyers are arguing what, why don't they concern themselves with election integrity and actually reporting on these issues like you're doing right now, and allowing our lawyers to actually come on their air and about what is actually going on. So I appreciate the opportunity to clarify that every legal vote should count and count accurately.
Election
and we need to
integrity.
make sure that we're
That's the
fighting
main
this
thing.
until we have an answer to all of these critical questions.
Jenna Ellis, Senior Legal Advisor to President Trump. Keep up the fight. Please, you, Sydney, Rudy, come on the show the rest of this week and fill us in. Thank you so much.